Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man who is staying here in South Africa. I own several properties here in South Africa, so I have my own story that I want to share with you. And my confession, it reads like this. There was a time back home when I used to make a lot of money. I was someone that was considered to be very wealthy. I was born in a village that is called Domboshava. So being born in that village, it is the same village where that rich guy was also born, who is known as Jinimbi. So we used to sell even gold to that guy. We used to sell the gold that we would have gotten to that guy. So I was lucky enough when there was this other program that was being done, since the government had seen that there was lack of employment opportunities. That was when the government said that they wanted the youth to have something to do. So they chose me and other guys, those that were going to become the youth leaders. So these youth leaders, what they were supposed to do was that we were supposed to dig up for gold, and after digging up for the gold, then we would sell the gold, and then we would divide the money that we would have gotten. So I was lucky enough that I was chosen to be the team leader. And when I was a team leader, this meant that we were making more money than anyone. So as time went on, we started to make a lot of money because big guys, they were buying the gold straight from us, and this meant that we were making a lot of money. So my friends, most of them, they were able to do something that was meaningful with the money that they were making, because we were making money in the millions. Since gold, it is really expensive. But as for me, Brother Nashi, if you are born in a family where there is a lot of witchcraft, you can have R1 million in your account, but you will never be able to achieve anything after you would have gotten that money. That is exactly what happened to me. The first year when I started making money, as you know, as a black man, you cannot just say that today I have made money and I am just going to enjoy my money alone with my family. You have relatives, those that have taken care of you ever since you're still young, including your parents as well. So I had to build a home for my parents, and there was this other girl that I had been dating since high school, and I had to marry her since I was making money. She was studying at UZ. So her parents, they wanted him to get married to a man that was also educated as she was. But because I started making money all of a sudden, that was when they agreed they wanted their daughter to get married to me. I loved her and she also loved me. That is how we got married to each other. So me and my wife, we were really close, and I loved her with all of my heart. So I had to marry her. In that first year when I started making money, I had no choice, but I was supposed to marry my wife. So I used a lot of money when I married my wife, and there were a lot of things that were happening at the same time. So when my friends were busy building homes, I was getting married and I was pleasing my relatives, those that had taken care of me ever since I was still a little boy. It then happened that the next year, when I thought that now this is the time for me to start making money, that was when the spirit of poverty said that you are never going to be rich in your life. When there is the spirit of poverty in your family, you will never be able to achieve anything in your life, because just when I was about to start making money, Brother Nashi, that was when the devil intervened, and the devil came and my sister got sick. It was one of my aunties, the one that had taken me to school. She was the one that had assisted me and my parents when days were tough. So when children came to me and when they told me that their mother was not okay and they wanted me to help them, I knew that I was supposed to assist them. If I was not going to help them, it was going to paint a very bad picture. So I took the money that I had, the money that I wanted to use to buy a house. Even me and my wife, we fought quite a lot because of that, because my wife was like, but this is the money that we wanted to use for other things. Why is it that you want to assist your relatives using this money? So I thought that maybe my wife, she did not love my relatives because she was refusing for me to give my auntie's kids the money that was needed at the private doctors. So I told my wife that I was going to assist my relatives because my auntie, she has always been there when life was really tough, and I was going to assist her no matter what. So me and my wife, we started fighting then because already we had found a property that we wanted to buy, and now that we had found a property, that was when all of this bad stuff started happening in the family. The same time that my auntie started to get sick, that was the same time when one of my sister, she got sick. She had problems with her kidneys. We took her to the private doctors, and when we took her to the private doctors, it was my money that we were using. There was no one in the family that had enough money to assist me, so I was the one that was doing everything, and they knew that without me she was going to die. I looked at my sister and I said, I have money. I am not going to abandon my sister. This thing of me wanting to buy a house, I have to pause it now. There will come a time when I will buy a house. And when you are dealing in gold, the money that you get from selling gold, it is quite a lot. So I told my wife that gold was always going to be there underground, and gold was not going to get finished simply because my sister was sick. So we were still going to make more money, and she was not supposed to worry much about it. So I then booked a flight for my sister, my mother, and a child. And when your relative or someone has gone to India for a medical procedure, it is very expensive. It is not cheap, because then you are supposed to find a place where you have to stay. My mother was supposed to stay somewhere with my sister's child, and just to book the flights, it was quite a lot of money that I had to use. And at the same time, my auntie, she was in the hospital. She was in a private hospital. I had to pay each and every day. There was money that was needed because I had money in the millions. I did not even think that the money was going to get finished eventually, but money, it comes and it goes, Brother Nashi. By the time that my sister returned back from India and my auntie was okay, I thought that now I would be able to start making money and I can recover. And this thing, it costed me the whole year. I was just spending money on my sick relatives, but I said, this is the will of God. If this is what God has decided, then I have to do it. And I am grateful. I was grateful at that time, because I said, if it had happened that my sister had gotten sick and I have no money, it meant that she was going to die. So God is the one that has put me in this position so that I can assist all of my sick relatives. I thought that this was the will of God. In the second year, just when I thought that I was going to recover, because in the first year, my sister, she died after she had returned back from India, and soon after my auntie had died. That is when my sister passed away, and all the money that I had used on them trying to get them healed, all of that money, it went for nothing. So I was really sad because of what had happened, but I told myself that I was still going to make money. Since I was into gold trading, I was going to make a lot of money. But my brother, things got so bad that when I returned back to the mines, that was when I was told that there was a new rule that was there, like they wanted to rotate us. They wanted to give other youth the opportunity to make money as well, and they had given us the opportunity to make money. Now it was time for another stream to get in so that they can also have the opportunity that we had been given, because the money we had made, it was millions upon millions. It is just that as for me and my wife, we had failed to do anything with the money that we had gotten, so we did not have anyone to blame. When I told my wife that this was what had happened, my wife, she was mad. My wife was angry at me because she always reminded me that, you see what I told you, when you were making money, when your friends were busy investing, you were busy taking care of your sick relatives. I then told my wife that she could no longer stay in the village because I did not have money anymore for me to hustle in the city. Then at the same time, I would be sending money to her. I wanted her in the city. I then went and I collected my wife, and then we started to stay together in the city. The first few days, life was a little bit better, but women, they do not want to stay when life becomes difficult. When things got so bad, there was a time when we would cook rice and we would just put sugar, because we could not even afford to buy anything else. Life was just difficult for us. Even to buy tomatoes, we were even unable to do that. All that we could do was to put sugar in the rice and you could eat. And then my wife told me that she was unable to stay in that kind of a situation because I was too poor and too broke for him. Fast forward, Brother Nanshi, I started hustling all along. I knew that it was me now alone against the whole world. There was no one that was going to come to my rescue because I could not find a job. And when you used to be rich, you can't go around begging for food because people will laugh at you. I then said, let me go somewhere far where no one knows me, where no one does not know that I used to be a rich man. I used to be a rich guy and I used to travel around with big boys' cars, but all of a sudden life was now too difficult for me. I then left Harare and I came to South Africa, and when I was in South Africa, I was just surviving by doing piece jobs. It then happened that one day I went into town. There was something that I wanted in town. I ended up going to the mall. When I was at the mall, that was when I felt someone touch me on my shoulder. When I looked, surprise, it was one of my best friend from high school. He was shocked because he did not expect me to be wearing such dirty clothes. He asked me how I have been. I told him that I had lost all the wealth that I had when I was still back home in Zim. He was even shocked because I was very wealthy and I used to help everyone. And then I saw this other girl, a beautiful girl that I used to date when I was in Zim. I was so embarrassed because now here I was, a broke guy, yet she knew me as someone that was very wealthy. She even ignored me because I was now out of her league. She even pretended as if she did not even know me at all. So my friend then said that he wanted me to come to his house and we exchanged phone numbers. I called him and he said it's fine. He gave me directions. He stays in 4 ways. I then went to his place. When I went to his place, I was amazed at all the money that he had gotten, all the beautiful cars that he had at his house. I wanted all that. I wanted it back. He then told me that he wanted to give me some piece jobs since I had told him that life was too difficult for me now. I was unable to live the same way that I used to live when I was still back home in Zim. He told me that he was into the business of tenders and I also wanted that, but he then said that he can only help me by me doing some piece jobs for him, which was fine by me considering the level of poverty that I was facing at that time. So I would always do piece jobs for him. I would go to his house until one day, I think all along he was busy testing me. He then told me that there was somewhere where he wanted us to go to So I got into his vehicle. He said that he wanted us to go and buy something by the hardware. I got into the vehicle, and when we were going to the hardware, that was when he told me that he wanted us to go to this other Sangoma, because he kept on asking me if I ever spoke with my ancestors, and he told me that it was very important to always speak with your ancestors. It was like, with the way that you used to be so wealthy back home, it is because you never got that chance to speak with your ancestors, and if you do not speak with your ancestors, they will always forget about you. When we finally arrived at the traditional healer's place, Brother Nashi, that was when he started to consult with the traditional healer, the things that I did not even understand. After he had finished consulting with the traditional healer, that was when the healer told me that he also wanted me to consult with him. I then consulted with him, and then he told me that the reason as to why I had lost all the wealth that I once had when I was still back home in my country, it was because my grandfather, when he used to work at this other farm, at that farm, life was very difficult for him because they used to feel really jealous of him. He then went to this other traditional healer from Mozambique. When he was assisted by that traditional healer, he was told that after using the lucky charm, he was supposed to return back the charms to the traditional healer. Later on, my grandfather then found a job in the mines, and he totally forgot about the men that had assisted him. So what he did not know was that these charms, they were supposed to be paid back, and he was supposed to speak with the traditional healer at all the times, and he did not do such a thing. So then a Tokoloshi came to him, and the Tokoloshi told him that he was supposed to pay, and he gave blood to that Tokoloshi, and he forgot about it. He thought that maybe the Tokoloshi, it will never ever affect his grandchildren, his children. He continued with his life without ever knowing that this was the curse that he had brought upon his life and upon his entire generation. So we grew up not even knowing that we are people that always have good luck, but this good luck that we had, it was not God-given good luck, but it was because of that Tokoloshi. When I was told all of these things, then it started to make sense that this was the reason as to why I was picked up by the politician so that I can become a youth leader. It was something that was not like normal to me, yet I was put into that position whereby I started handling a lot of millions all of a sudden. I was told that it was because of that Tokoloshi. It was the one that had given me all of that good luck, and since I was not thanking the Tokoloshi, it got mad at me. It was like, I have given you all of this money, but you do not want to thank me. Why is it that you do not want to thank me? And it was the reason as to why my auntie died, as well as my sister passed away, because the Tokoloshi was like, I also want blood because I have been working for you people for a very long time, yet you are not even appreciating me at all. So the traditional healer then gave me an option. I was given an option to call the Tokoloshi, and after calling the Tokoloshi, we were going to destroy it, or he was going to call the Tokoloshi so that we can speak with the Tokoloshi. Brother Nashi, I then told the traditional healer that I wanted him to do what he thought was best for me, and the traditional healer then called the Tokoloshi and he started to speak with it. The Tokoloshi then said that it was okay, we could work together. That is how I became a money-making ritualist. And I want to tell you something. Even if someone comes to you and tell you that they never had a choice, we are all given a choice in life. But what makes people to end up doing rituals? Like in my case, I did rituals because I was sick and tired of the poverty that I was facing. And when I saw how much my friend had so much money, and I remembered all the money that I used to have when I was still back in my country, I then said, let me just do this, let me become a ritualist. And this is what happens most of the times. People end up doing rituals because they want to be like someone else. They want to become rich like someone else. This is what happened to me. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. If you have done any rituals, or if you have spoken with any traditional healer that has promised you that you can make money, how about you come to my inbox and you share with me your own side of the story.